As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.
What about you?
I'm still thinking about making her eat. What was the question? Dating, single. Okay, I'm married, and my longest relationship is 13 years with husband number 1. Husband number 2 is closely pulling up at 12 years, married for 9. And I had 11 years between marriages where I was in some serious relationships, but I did a lot of dating. And it was really hard and illuminating and eye-opening, and I think has helped me be a better therapist than if I had been just married for 100 years.
Gotcha. So 2 marriages?
2 marriages.
Any kids?
Yes, I have 2 daughters who are 22 and 24.
From the first marriage?
From husband 1.
Husband 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Both of them from
Both of them from husband 1.
Okay.
And
You have
husband
any-
2 has 2 kids. So I have
you
2
got
stepdaughters. Yeah.
stepkids,
But
got
they're like in their late 20s. And
Gotcha.
so we're in that empty nest phase.
Empty nest. Gotcha. Okay. The first marriage, it was 13 years, you said?
Well, we were married for 7.5 years,
Together
but
for 13.
yes. So I met him when I was 18 on the first day of school, my sophomore year at Tulane. And that's actually how I got to
college.
Florida. He moved me there for his job.
Was he your age?
He was 2 years older than I was,
Okay.
but we graduated at the same time. And
Gotcha.
yeah,
And who initiated the divorce?
I initiated the divorce.
What was the reason?
I mean, okay. So the easy answer, of course, is that we grew apart.
Here we go again.
But there was a lot of, okay, we were young and we didn't communicate well. And really for me, if I'm honest, it's that he was emotionally disconnected. I felt alone in the marriage. I tried really hard to find ways to get through to him, and I couldn't. And so eventually I checked out and became very resentful and angry. And finally I got to the point where even though I had 2 little kids, no matter what he said or did, wasn't going to turn it around.
I see. And was it a contentious divorce or was
It
he?
was.
Okay.
It was. I think that for some people, this is my personal opinion about him. He would maybe tell you something different, but I think it wounded his ego to be left. And at that point, even though he was I was very quickly replaced by somebody who had nothing to do with the divorce, and I really believe that. But it wasn't 2 months into our separation till another woman was living in my house.
Nice.
That was easy.
You know, part-time mothering my kids. And I thought that I encouraged, a friend of mine set them up, and I encouraged it, thinking he would be nicer to me and we would be amicable once he was dating, and it didn't help at all. To this day, I feel like it's not as amicable as I wish it was. But we can get along on the surface. You know, we go to the graduations and the
Is he
birthdays.
still with that girl?
Yeah, they're married.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they seem very happy, and I'm happy for them. I really don't care.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Did he pay you alimony?
He paid me 2 years of alimony.
Okay.
But I think that he really got away with not paying me much at all because my own parents got divorced when I was young, and it was very contentious, and I was afraid of fighting. So I just bowed out and said, you know, I think his tactic was, if you leave me, I'm not going to give you a lot of money and you won't have anything. I had no career at that point, none. I had been a stay-at-home mom, and I basically was like, screw off. I'm smart. I'm smarter than you. I'll figure it out. I don't need or want your money, which sounds noble, but it really was a shit show as I was a young single mom and didn't have any career for a while.
Okay.
Shared custody?
Shared custody.
50-50?
Yeah, I'm really close to my dad, so I didn't want to deny him that.
Was he paying you child support?
Yes. Yes, and I did get child support all the way through until my kids went to college. But it really didn't amount to that much. I went through a lot of really hard years where I had to work, go to grad school, live on student loans, take care of my kids, and I didn't feel like he was really very helpful or understanding. It was more like, look at the bed you made, and now you have to lie in it.
You ain't lying.
What makes her think that he should go above and beyond for her after she broke up the family? He's 100% correct. Lie in the bed you made for yourself. There's no other way around it.
How much, just curious, how much was he paying you? I'm sure it changed over the course of 18 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm divorced for 20 years. So at the beginning, I think I probably got around $6,000 a month in like child support and alimony. But this is a man who making a lot of money. So
Well, can we separate the alimony and the child support? So
yeah, I just don't remember.
And the alimony was 2 years, right?
2 years.
But so from the initiation of the divorce, at that point, he was paying you $6,000.
$7,000. So he was paying me, I just remembered. So I got about $2,500 a month for child support, something like that, and about $5,000 a month for alimony.
Was he a high earner?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is, again, I got divorced in 2005.
Yeah.
So this is a long.
That money went further back then.
Yes. Yes.
Well, so, but you said you only had alimony for 2 years.
Yeah.
For how much was the child support once the alimony stopped?
So the child support, I actually got less child support when the alimony stopped. But again, and this is why for any of you young women, if you ever find yourself in this situation, I was so traumatized by what my parents went through in New York State, where it's very hard to get divorced, watching them fight for years over money and custody, that I didn't want to haggle at all. And I should have, because maybe it sounds like no money to you, or maybe it sounds like a lot, but relative to what my ex-husband made, I really got very little money, and it was never enough to feel remotely comfortable, even working and going to school.
We do not care.
So I wish I had fought a little harder. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I think this child support thing where the child support is for the benefit of the child.
Yeah.
Right. And so children, I mean, I don't know if the children had any illnesses or anything like that. No. They're not that expensive. And I think the child support system doesn't really take into consideration the actual cost of raising a child. So, I mean, I find it a bit dubious that, well, I wasn't getting paid enough. It sounds like you're getting paid, what, $2,000 to $3,000 a month? That's pretty good. I mean, that seems fair.
You are entitled to your opinion, but on the flip side, I made a decision with my husband at the time to relocate away from my family. Mm-hmm. I did better in college than he did. I graduated cum laude as a double major. We made a joint decision for me to stay home with the children. I then could not move. At the time that I got divorced, I had not worked for, 4 or 5 years at his request.
You're a victim. Here we go, CSI.
So the point of this is that I can't afford at this juncture to even rent a place and provide a home for the child. So it's not just a matter of putting food on the table. The courts want you to at least give a decent standard of living for your children. Now, our standards of living, most people will argue in court, which I did not do, that you should maintain the same lifestyle you had. I was living a very high lifestyle at the time, and I went into living a very middle of the road lifestyle. And none of that money was like keeping me, and I went to work immediately. Like, I mean, whatever the opinion is, I didn't have enough money to do anything but go to work and immediately try to build a career so that I could support myself.
What state were you living in?
Florida.
So, I mean, you said, though, for the first 2 years, you were receiving the alimony combined with child support.
Yeah.
That's $7,000
Yeah.
a month for a 2-year period.
Yeah.
Back in 2002? 2005.
It's $84,000 a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and
Yeah.
the housing prices back in Florida, maybe you could rent like a 2 to 3 bedroom house in Florida for 1,000, 2,000, maybe. I don't
No,
even know.
not that low. Not that low. I bought a house. I bought a house.
2005 in Florida? Well, I don't know. In any
Well,
case,
where I live in
in any
Winter
case,
Park,
I
it's
don't know.
not inexpensive to live.
Taste, so Brian. No, I mean, you know what I mean.
I do have expensive taste, but I lost my ability to have an expensive taste. I hear what you're saying. It may sound like that, but I felt very poor.
And this is the monster you create when everything is literally handed to you on a silver platter. She had it all. He moved her to Florida, gave her a lifestyle that allowed her not to have to work, a high earner, and no mention of infidelity. And she threw it all away over practically nothing. My question is, why does she feel like she should have got more out of that divorce? I don't think she learned her lesson.
That's the reality.
Wait, it's not, but you had, first off, it probably wasn't just that. I'm assuming there was like a distribution of community property.
There
So
was like
it's
no
not just-
community. It was just that.
Was there a house?
There was a house, and
Their
at the end, I
cars
walked
and-
away with about $20,000 in the bank.
I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Can I make a point?
That seems pretty good to me.
Okay. Well,
good
it
to me.
definitely
And
didn't seem good to
alimony.
me.
I think that's fine.
In
Go
about 2012, I was living in Florida and my parents got divorced while I was in the 7th grade. My dad kind of bankrupted our whole family, and out of the divorce, my mother for 3 children in 2012 got $400 a month, no alimony, and she had to restart her whole life. She hadn't worked since I was born, besides being a freelance photographer, and she had to find a job and do everything on her own, and that was definitely a struggle for her.
Well,
sure.
There's a bit of difference in circumstance here.
No, for sure.
$400 a month versus $7,000
Yeah.
a
It
month.
depends what the husband earns.
I personally object to that metric. I think there ought to be some caps on child support. For example, in California, it's just based off income. There's no cap. So, and I think most states there's no cap. So, I mean, if you're making millions and millions of dollars a year, what you're basically, it's just wealth transfer.
Yeah.
It's not actually has anything to do, it's not commensurate at all with the actual costs of raising a child. So, I mean, I think some of these ridiculous child support payments are not in line at all with the actual cost of raising a child, which I think is what it should be for.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be it shouldn't be wealth transfer. It should be child support, not I'm going to continue providing a luxury lifestyle for the woman who divorced me.
So what do you think of the perspective that, if a husband makes more money and the wife divorces, and so the husband should not have to pay for the wife to have, an equal lifestyle, should the husband not then be the one taking care of the children? If the mom can't
Didn't they
afford,
have split custody?
they did, but if
Okay.
if he's not giving all that child support,
I mean, in the split custody situation, I would actually make a compelling argument that there should be no child support.
yeah,
No
no. But
child
if the
support?
kids are then
child
going to
support.
live a much worse life half the time, shouldn't the dad just be the one to take care of them? He can provide a better life
yeah.
for them.
Or
Why
the
not?
mom. If the mom
give
makes
dad
more money, then the
full
mom
custody.
pays.
Give the dad full custody. I'm in favor.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, it is
If
like
that's the
his
case.
children, and she chose
But,
to leave.
I mean, look, to be fair, I'm fine with 50-50 custody.
Yeah.
And I think, if there's some compelling argument that she's completely skillless and she's going to be homeless, I can see some compelling arguments for child support in this situation. In any case, she had 2 years of alimony, which should have covered that. And you graduated from college.
Yeah, but it takes years to build up income.
How
And
old
then
were you when you were divorced?
I was 31 when I got divorced, and I had not worked since I was 24, and I had worked for like 2 or 3 years out of college.
I kind of think that's a windfall for women. This idea that everything for you was paid for years. You didn't have to work. Your rent was
Being
paid.
a mother's a job.
Imagine me as a dude. I was just living off my girlfriend. Didn't have to pay rent. Didn't have.
But lots of guys do that now.
Flip the roles.
Yeah.
And y'all will be very tilted about if a man tries to siphon money from women. This idea that, she didn't have to work and the guy was paying for everything. I think that's a windfall for the women.
Well, here, let me ask you guys a question.
And
What
what do
about
you do when you get
Kevin
divorced?
Federline? You guys know Kevin Federline?
Yeah,
And
he just wrote a book.
I know. And what happens when I say Kevin Federline?
W.
I think of Britney.
I know you think of Britney, but why? Because Britney had to pay him all
Yeah.
the alimony.
Yeah.
And what did you guys think about that?
If I marry a man, anything like that, because I know that I'm the one who makes, I don't know if I'll find a man who makes more money than I do. I am all for prenups and
Oh,
everyone
Me
should
too.
have one.
And I have that with my husband now. We're totally.
That is good. Yeah.
And I think we're back.
And I would never make those same choices I made.
Yeah.
Again, having lived through what I've
Well,
lived, I would never do that. And I did not fight for money at all. And there was a lot of money on the line. So, you know, that's not like, I don't, that's not my personal value system. All I can tell you is in my experience, it was much harder to support myself than I envisioned. Like, I was like, I'm fine. I'll go get a sales job. I'll make a great living. I found it very hard to having all those years out of the workforce. I think things have changed a little. Again, this is 20 years ago, but I would never, ever, I tell my daughters every day, whatever you do, don't give up your career completely because you don't know what's going to happen and it's too hard to recover.
It couldn't even be a divorce. It could just be your husband dying, and then that's, you know,
or your
that's
husband
hard.
could leave you. You think your life's great, and all of a sudden you get like a Post-it note on the stairs.
dead. Now he's dating a man.
Gosh, that's bad.
I had a client whose husband, she came home and they've been married 30 years, and there was literally a Post-it note on the.
Wait, you said something interesting. You had that?
You had that? A Post-it note?
No,
Yeah, no.
About you.
No. So go back. So you're dating a guy, then you came out gay?
This was years ago in high school. I dated a guy for about a year.
I guess high school, they're kind of young. They might be.
Yeah.
And he then told you he was gay?
Well, actually, no, he refused to tell me. I found out on Facebook back when it first, I guess, came out that he was making a lot of, you know, when dance videos were a thing with your,
On TikTok?
YouTube.
Oh, you have
Before TikTok, way before TikTok.
So, sorry about the lag there, guys. It looks like we got it fixed. It was about 2 or 3 minutes there. My apologies. Really quick, getting back to the topic at hand. Alex had brought up a point that Britney Spears was paying child support to Kevin Federline, and I just Googled it really quick. She was paying him, by the end of it, $40,000 a month in child support. I believe they have 2 kids together. $40,000 a month in child support. Personally, I think this, although it's a woman paying it to a man, even then, I think this is incredibly excessive. It doesn't cost $40,000 a month to raise children. So, and then also recently, Halle Berry, she was married to like some male supermodel. They got divorced. I'm not sure who initiated it. And she's having to pay him child support. I don't know if anybody in the chat can tell us how much, do you guys know how much Halle Berry is paying her ex-husband in child support and alimony or whatever? I think it's even more than what, Halle Berry, like child support.
Get the
I mean, the
prenup.
theory is to maintain an equal standard of living for the kids, but it does seem outrageous.
Oops.
I think kids will be happy
She pays
as long as
$8,000 a month.
they see that they're
8,000?
Halle Berry.
That's not too bad.
It's not crazy.
I mean, it's not a lot.
Plus 4.3.
It's still weird that she's paying him, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still...
I love it.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love
there you go.
Hey, what can I say? I love to see it too. It's not every day when you see equality work the way it should. I'm all for it.
That's what I call a chain reaction.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the perfect recipe. May they remember me, my words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame, hold it close to you. Check out my melodies. Is it the media that's been leading you? I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.
As much as we all like to rip on men, this is time to take some accountability.